Hello Stitchy friends, hi, I'm Emma here in West Yorkshire and welcome to my channel, Emma's Stitches. And this is the channel all about everything I stitch, mostly cross stitch, but some sewing projects on the sewing machine, tiny bit of quilting, a little bit of toy making and anything else that I fancy. So welcome, I'm glad you're here and let's go to our happy place and let's just talk about stitching. I have just got back from the hairdressers, so if you see anything sparkling on my top, it'll just be a few grey hairs that have been chopped off and I had an extra little shave, and so it's keeping me cool because it's a bit humid today, isn't it? So, and we are at the end of August now. What are we on? The 26th of August, so nearly the end of the school summer holidays. Thank goodness. Not that my two are too much trouble anymore. I don't really see them till the afternoons, but I'm sure you understand the teenage mithering. So let's just shut ourselves in here and relax now. So what have I got to show you today? Loads of things. Thanks so much for joining me for my sewing room tour. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. And my welcome back to Flosstube land. Thanks for all that. So today I thought I would go through some WIPs, not all my WIPs, because some of them I haven't actually touched since before moving house, so they don't deserve to be shown. And so I've just picked up the ones that I have put work in and my more newer ones. I've also got 3 finishes and some plans, my quilt block. I shall start with my finishes. The first finish I've got to show you is this lovely little sheep by Cotton Pixels. It's called the Sheep Quilt, and if you know me, you know I love a 3D finish, and I saw that and thought, oh, that's clever. I wonder if the quilt separate on its back, and then I couldn't really understand what the actual pattern was. However, it is the pattern for the whole thing. You stitch the whole thing as one and then sew him together and stuff him, and you add some felt for the head, and she's put wire pins through with beads on the end and a tiny little tail. I have done mine slightly differently, as you can see. Here he is. He has two little beady eyes. Let's get a good picture of him. He is fairly steady on his feet. I've put some pennies in the bottom of the stuffing so that he would stand up with some weight, so you can see he's a decent weight. And here is my lovely sheep. You can see I changed the colours because I just fancied a green sheep for some reason with the white woolly curly wool on the top, and I fancied pinks and yellows for his quilt rug over his back. I keep saying he, and maybe a she, or maybe not. So there is my lovely little sheep. I shall put some pictures up for you to show you the process of putting him together. So you can see it's stitched all as one. You do the whole outline and the quilt centre as one piece on one piece of fabric. Then you add in the fringing, which is velvet stitch. So not very similar to turkey stitch, not quite the same. And then you snip the loops of the velvet stitch and trim it how you want it, and then fold it over, add in the felt piece for the head, stitch the ears to the head, add the eyes, stitch the tail, and then you stitch an oval for the base and stuff, and there you go. So I love that. I don't know much about Cotton Pixels. I don't know what the name is, and I don't know where they're from. I've tried to have a look, but can't really find much. but she, if it is a she, does have a lot of 3D finishes. Really, really well worth a look. I think probably she's quite underrated because I don't see her products very often. I don't see people stitching them very often. And so I would highly recommend a look. If you want a physical copy in the UK, you can get them from Create Nostalgia. Mary's got several of her patterns in, and I'm sure I could get you any of them if you wanted any of the other ones or the older ones. She's got a great pumpkin out at the moment. I'll put a picture there so you can see that if you fancied that for Halloween. I'm not affiliated with her. I don't know anything about her. I just think they're really great. So that was my first finish for the month, Cotton Pixels sheep quilt. Hope you like her. Put her over there. And then my next finish is an old one, but I wanted to get this done. Let's pull it out the packet. There's Summertime by Susan Bates. Oops, daisies. This was a design she made for a company called Stitchingly, so it was a membership only pattern. I've just very recently joined Cotton Club Crafts membership, and Susan Bates has got quite a few patterns on there as well, sort of similar. There's a similar summertime one, an autumn, winter and spring. So if you're interested, if you have a look at the Cotton Club's website. She's also got her own Etsy shop, Susan has, and obviously she's been published in lots of magazines. So this was what she did for Stitchingly, and the last time you saw it on my full whip parade from a couple of years ago it looked like this, and now it looks like this. Yay! So that's the full pattern. If you are eagle-eyed, you might spot that I changed. Obviously, I always got to change something, haven't I? I can't leave it as it is. I changed the chips in the top right corner and I put some cherries there. They're also Susan's design. They were just out of a magazine, you know, when they do like a little design library. So this project, oh, I didn't tell you what any of this sheep quilt was stitched on, did I? The sheep quilt was stitched on Zweigart Murano in olive. So that was the colour I used. It was 32 count, and it was recommended at Gentle Arts Simply Wool for the wool curls on the outside, and I just replaced that with ecru, DMC ecru, and then the colours that I changed are all DMCs. And I joined the fabric edges there around his body with a thread that I could closely match to the olive, and that was a DMC 3052. So that's what this was stitched with, just DMCs and a 32 count. So this was stitched on a fabric flare even weave called Cloud Summer Sky, and it was a 28 count. I used all DMCs. And that's that. So my plan for this is to make it into a cushion. So I have a cushion inner, and then I was thinking about these two fabrics. In fact, let's put it together here and then you can see. I was thinking about these two fabrics around as like a quilted frame around the outside of this stitched piece, and I have an idea in my head. I'm not sure if it's going to execute the way I think. So the strawberries and the Tilda plain matching dark red. There's an idea in my head brewing. see if I can execute it. And then this one is for the back of the cushion. So hopefully next time I show you that, I will have achieved my ambition and made it into a cushion with a zip on the back. That's a challenge for another day. Okay, so that's summertime. My third finish for today's floss tube is Lindy Stitches, the Queen of Thread. Take it out of the packet, Emma. There we go. And this was a Nashville release a couple of years ago. And here's mine. I love her face. And the needle, she's pulling a thread. The red thread is couched onto the fabric. The fabric I've used is Gingham Hearts, which was from stitchbunny.co.uk. 32 count. And the threads I have used for this were all Cottage Garden threads. So that's some of the palette. That's all of the palette, but some of those colours haven't been used, as you can see. So it gives a lovely variegation, and I do like the way I dress and the tomato looks. So I need to come up with an idea for finishing this. It's very tall and slim. I was wanting to stuff it, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. For her to be stood up on one of my sewing desks. So I'm not totally sure. I did buy a little tomato with the needle sharpener bit on it to match, which is exactly what's there, that way around, that way. So I need to put my thinking cap on for a fully finish for that one. But anyway, I'm thrilled to bits that it is now finished. There is a mistake on it, which I no doubt you can't tell. But it was a mistake that I also had to repeat in order to make the other side match. Good one, Emma. So that's her, Queen of Thread. She looks a bit like me as well, doesn't she? She got spectacles. No, maybe I should have put spectacles on her. Okay, so that was my attempt to try. I saw something called Annihilation August, which is from the Snitch Stitcher, and a couple of her friends, Running with Scissors as well, is another one of her friends that came up with it. I don't know who was, which was less aggressive than it sounds. It was just all about getting as many things finished in August as you could. And that I just sort of joined in silently. And that was what pushed me to get those two old ones, old WIPs finished. So I'm pleased it did that, actually. When I looked at the I can't say it. When I looked at the Snitch Stitches Flosstube and Instagram page, you never guess what I saw. I saw the sheep quilt as well. She's been working on that, doing it in the colours that it's charted for. So I can't believe it. I've not seen that anywhere else. And then suddenly I finished mine, and then I've seen it on hers. Who knew that people could stitch the same things? Oh dear. Right. I've just realised, if you can see my t-shirt, you might just see that there's a hand saying I'm okay. It looks a bit weird, but it's actually, I'm buried under a pile of sewing machines. So there you go. If you're wondering what that is, it's not somebody desperately trying to escape from underneath my bosoms. So, right, come on, Emma, get it together. Right, so I've done quite well in August. This is my book of days. I've really enjoyed cracking on with lots of projects this month, which is quite good to compare with. If I show you the start of the year, I was in a right funk. There's not much happening. And then I went quilting mad for a few months. And now I'm fully embracing being back in the cross-stitching land and working on several different projects. Okay, so I thought I'd just go through some of them. The first one I am going to show you is Joan Elliott's Indian Maiden. This is the book I got it from, which I found in a charity shop. This cover picture is the lady I'm talking about. I shall show you the main picture because that's not got all the detail on it. So this has got all the detail with the background and the border. So she's big. She's very big. She's actually 243 high by 187 wide. So it is taking me a while, and haven't stitched on her. Might have only stitched on her once or twice this year. I'll put a picture up of where I was up to last time when I did my whip parade, and this is where I'm up to now. So you can see I've added in this section, and I've expanded out a bit here. I haven't touched any more of the Krynic. And also, obviously her dress, I'm only at the first tier of her skirt dress, so there's another 2 tiers still to go. So I have a fair bit of work to do on her. She is beautiful though, and people always comment how much they love her, and quite a few other people are stitching her at the same time. She is gorgeous. So she is my pride and joy, so I need to work on her a bit more. I'm using all the call for threads, all DMCs, Krynics, and I've just realised that the Magnificas have come back in stock on 123 Stitch. So I can actually order the original as charted Magnificas, which I'm going to do, and just have a look at them in comparison to what I've substituted for, because there's no beads on it yet. And then I can just have a look at them all together and make a decision myself which I like the best. So that was good news that the Magnificas have come back. I think I must have read that in a newsletter from 123 Stitch. So if you're after any Magnifica beads, Mill Hill beads, get onto 123 Stitch. Didn't tell you what she's stitched on. She is stitched on Creationist Golden, I think. And I think it's on a 32 count. Yes. So that's the other thing I need to check, if whether the beads will fit in the spaces for beads. Be some round her wrist. She's got some on for her bracelets. So I'll order them. I'll order them and I'll have a look. Okay, and my next project is Capricorn by Nora Corbett. It's this one, and I shall put a picture in of where I was up to last time you saw it, and this is where I'm up to now. So I actually came down her arm. I've done some more work down here and done some more of this, and all this Krynic that you can't really see very well. So she is stitched on Permin Linen Mocha, 32 count. I'm stitching a 2/2 with all the called for DMCs and Karen Water Lilies and the Krynic. And as you can see, I have been beading as I've gone along there. I've just sort of beaded my way down, so all that's complete. I don't normally stitch like that, but just this one just called to me to stitch that way. So that's my Capricorn lady. Next I shall show you Treehouse of Summer, Soda Stitch. I'll put a picture in of where I was up to, if I've got one from my last whip parade. That needs some work. This is stitched on Fabric Flare Even Weave Candy Floss, 28 count. And I'm stitching that with all the called for DMCs. I've not seen much soda stitch for a little while. It's just me, or Instagram is very difficult to see the things you want to see. I find it quite annoying when I'm trying to scroll through and I'm just getting either adverts or new accounts that are new to me, and I don't seem to have the option to just look at the people that I already follow and want to look at what they're doing. So it's a little bit, I find it a little bit frustrating. But what was the point of me saying that? Really just that I haven't seen much soda stitch. There was a time when I saw lots of soda stitch. Can't get me words out. When I saw lots of soda stitch and haven't seen very much recently. So anyway, this is from 3 years ago. But I've done so much and really would like to finish. My next WIP is one of the Fabulous House series, The Greenhouse by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I'll put a picture in of where I was up to last time you saw it. And this is where I'm up to. Now, so pretty. I just did the roses last night. It's very delicately done. I love the way this is done. Really speaks to me. So this is on an antique lambswool linen, also perming. It's one of my favourite. I like this. I like the stiffness of it. I know some people don't like perming, but I really love it. It's 35 count, and I'm stitching 2/2. I do like a full look. So yeah, she's just a couple of years old. But I really loved stitching on that again last night, so I'm going to carry on with that, and you will see some progress with that one in the future. Next up is Moons Out, Brooms Out by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I just love this. It's so cute. So this is about to come right back to the front. It'll be in my September stitching. That we're approaching autumn months and Halloween. This is so fun. I really love it. And this is where I'm up to. So I have her broom out on the top of a house that she's flying over. Love it. I'm stitching this one on a Sparkly's Twilight Temptress. No, I can't say that either. Twilight Temptress linen, 36 count, with the DMCs all called for. So I think that'll look good when I get the moon on as well. It's so bright, isn't it? I'll make sure that moon's nice and bright, and that's where I'm up to now. Hopefully some progress next time you see that one. Love it. Next up is a pattern that I started at the Wrexham retreat in June last year. This was a stitch along by Lynn the Lancashire Stitcher, and this was nicknamed Dragon Stitch for Mum. So Lynn's mum's very poorly, and we were doing it in honour of Lynn's mum. So this was the pattern by Luca S, called The Elegant Dragon. Now it didn't seem to fit for me, that. And also Hazel, who was on my table at the time when I started it, Stitch Witch Hazel, yeah. And she named him the Nerdy Dragon, and I think that's a good name, because he does look a bit like Harry Potter, doesn't it, if he'd been turned into a dragon. So I've called this whip the Nerdy Dragon. I think it suits him better than the Elegant Dragon. So this was my choice to stitch a dragon with Lynn. And this is what it looks like. Not too discernible. Let me hold the picture back up. There you go, you can see the wing and the scarf. And this is stitched on a really lovely Fabric Flare Even Weave Rose Garden. And it is opalescent as well. And don't know if you can see. So I thought that was suitably, what's the word? My words are failing me as well. I can't think of a word, but a word that's suitable for a background for a dragon. Okay, so yeah, 32 count, 32 different colours. I started it at Wrexham last year, didn't touch it again till Wrexham in June this year, and haven't touched it again since. But I will, because I want to stitch Nerdy Harry Potter as a dragon. So that's cute. There you go. So that's that one. Next up is A New Dawn by Mel's Stitches at Heritage Crafts. And this one you can see I won as a giveaway from Cotton Club Crafts, which was lovely. And it was a start in time for my 50th birthday, and then also shortly thereafter is when we moved house. So I thought A New Dawn was quite appropriate. I'll show you the picture first. So this is the picture. Really lovely collection of colours. I love the combination of colours that Mel chooses for this style of pattern. There's some more there. Upside down. There's some more there. I think it's such a shame that Heritage Crafts is not producing anymore. It's closed down. I hope that she finds Mel's Stitches, whoever she is, Mel. I hope she finds somebody else to produce these kits for her, because this artwork it's really lovely, isn't it? It's very soothing. I really like all the others, and there's more than that. I'm sure you'll have seen several different ones, and I would have liked to have continued and done another one of this once I've got this one done, obviously Emma. So yeah, I hope the artist finds someone else to produce her kits, if now that Heritage Crafts can't. Don't know. So here's my progress on this. Not doing too bad. This is the white even weave that came in the kit, 27 count, and I'm using the kit supplied colours, 29 different colours of DMC, and also 15 blends. So it's really, really lovely. I do love that. And so this ought really to have been finished in the year of my turning 50 and moving house. But it hasn't. So we'll do some more on that one. So you'll see some progress on that one as well. This is what I'm trying to show you, all the ones that you are going to see progress on, or that the ones I am definitely going to work on at some point this year, in the remainder of this year. I say remainder, just don't wish it away, Emma. It's still only August, although in Morrison's yesterday, went shopping, and there was Christmas chocolate out. I did a little frown when I saw that. I looked away, and then just as I walked to the checkout, the chap said, "I've just seen that sign over there." I said, "Yeah, I know." And I said, "It's 4 months away. 4 months today." It was 4 months yesterday. It's the 26th today. So yeah, no, there's no need for Christmas chocolate in Morris. I mean, I like Christmas. I like Christmas as much as the next crafter. But, you know, Christmas chocolate in August. No. 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 No, no, no. No. Not for me. Spoils it. Oh gosh, I think I am turning into a real grumpy old lady. It's not good, is it? Okay, let's move on to my next project that I want to show you is the light. So this was for, as part of Sally, Flossie Sews and Grows, her 50 for 50, turning 50 sale, and I joined in on this one. So this was a free pattern by Barbara Anna Designs, which you can still get through her bio on Instagram. Go to her Instagram page, Barbara Anna Designs, and then follow the link. You can find that pattern. This was my version. So this I started actually at the Chatelaine retreat with Sally. It's on a 32 count Zweigart Belfast linen in blue spruce. I thought that looked suitably nighttime-ish. I have yet to do the lights coming off the lantern because I'm going to do that last. I'm saving that for last because it's going to be sparkly, and I'm just working round there. So this is another one that I could annihilate and get finished. The thread I'm using for the leaves is a thread pickers variegated. That was to save me the hassle of changing colours for the leaves. So the chart, where's the chart gone? The chart's here. So it's charted with 3 different colours, I think. Or is it just 2? Maybe I was just being really lazy and I didn't want to change my colours twice. So I just opted for one thread that would variegate. And then I have no idea what I'm doing with the berries. I'm doing something random. So that needs to be finished. And that will be a finish. So that's that one. Next up is Needleworker's Oath by Teresa Kogut. Started in April 2024. I shall put a picture here of where it was on my last WIP braid. I shall show you what it should look like. And I shall show you what mine looks like. So not far off at all. I decided I wanted to change the colour of the cat, and as yet haven't made my mind up what colour I'm doing the cat, so I didn't want to do grey. I might do a strange colour, I might do a colour that you wouldn't find a cat, don't know. Anyway, this is on 36 count Cafe au lait even weave, stitching 2/2 because I like the bold look. It's stitched with 5 classic colourworks and 11 DMCs. Where's the colours? This is the colours for Teresa, and a couple of yellows in the skirt. It was Ye Old Gold and Honeycomb. That skirt is no joke. It was about 3,000 stitches, I think. That took me forever. I'm the slowest stitcher. However, the big skirt is done, so I just need to decide on the colour of a cat and stick the fabric basket in there and a little bit of cross stitching underneath the words. And that's her. And then decide how to finish her. I think she'll be a frame. I think she deserves a frame finish. So that's Needleworker's Oath. And now moving on to my much newer WIPs. Newest starts. The first one. The first one is called Mouse's Laundry Day. I think I showed it you on my shelf after I had come back from the Wrexham retreat. I actually went to both Wrexham retreats this year, but not by design, more by accident. So the first one was beginning of June, the second one was at the end of July, and I was actually away on holiday in Anglesey with the boys and my mum, and a place came up, so I managed to get a last minute place, which was really nice because I was already down in Anglesey, and the retreat started the day that we checked out of our accommodation in Anglesey. So my boys, my mum and my husband went off in one car back home to Yorkshire. Well, my mum's Lancashire. Dropped my mum off in Lancashire, come back to Yorkshire, and I went straight across from Anglesey all the way over to Wrexham. So that was nice. Anyway, I digress. I've gone off on a tangent. Anyway, so went to Create Nostalgia. So I don't know which shopping trip it was, whether it was the first one in June or the second one in July. However, I bought a couple of these, which I showed you on my shelf. And so this one was a new start for me. When did I start it? Just started it on the 11th of August. And I've done a couple of days work on it. And, come on Emma. And this is what it looks like. So, see, I've tried to be a bit clever with this, and I wanted to mash up two colours of fabrics. I wanted sky and I wanted grass. I have not done it the proper way. The proper way to join your two pieces of fabric together would be to very carefully go through and attach properly on the same row with a little stitch and then stitch over the top. I found it a bit tedious. I did start that way, and then I got very bored very quickly and thought, sack this off, I'm not doing this. So I stuck the two pieces in my sewing machine and just whacked them together any old fashion, and then I'm just stitching over the top. So it doesn't line up. The stitches are not going to be even across that middle. My washing line was a little bit wibbly wobbly, but it can be. I have ironed it straight. It's not too, doesn't look too bad on there, does it? But the legs could look a little bit straighter to the ground. But then again, what does it matter? It's just a washing line, doesn't it? And it can wibble and wobble, and the sheep doesn't have to be perfectly all the same. So I was like, yeah, let's go for it. So that's why I've done it like that. So that was the suggested fabric. I wanted to go rogue. So I used two wiggly fabrics. They're both 36 count linens. One's Darcy Blue and this one is Pemberley. These were from the club. Check I've got that. No. Try again. So those are the club months. I'm doing that. No, I'm not doing that either. Emma. There we go. Okay, anyway, two fabrics from the Wiggly Club. West Green Loft yarns, but she dyes fabric as well. It's mostly wool, but she dyes fabric. Anyway, so yeah, so that's that. Done a little bit of work. I love the little quilt. Absolutely love it. That's 20 stitches by 20 stitches. How sweet is that little quilt on the washing line? I love it. So yeah, I've got the two socks in and the mouse is holding the sock. So saved her, she's going to be next. And then basket of washing, that's the start of the top of the basket of washing. Some tulips and a bit of sunshine in the sky and Bob's your uncle. So that's one of my new starts to show you. And what am I stitching that with? That might be helpful. Stitching that with Weeks Dye Works as charted. I'll show you there because they're so pretty. And Grasshopper as well, that one's in a bag. And just a plain DMC white. So that's very pretty. So that's Mouse's Laundry Day by Tiny Modernist. And my other new start from this month. This was earlier on in the month. So when I went to Wrexham in June, I went to Create Nostalgia with Lynn, and Lynn purchased this hands-on design goose on the loose. So I was just looking over her shoulder and I thought, oh, I really like that. But obviously I'd purchased other things. I was like, yeah, you've got enough whips, you don't need any more. And then when I went back in July and went back to Create Nostalgia with Lynn, I saw there was another one on the shelf. Thanks, Mary. So I bought this one. And I absolutely adore this goose on the loose. It reminds me of that song, if you were in the UK, and it must be the 80s, maybe the 90s. There's a moose loose about this hoose. So I really should probably cut that out. It's me doing a Scottish accent of there's a moose loose about this house. It doesn't quite sound the same. Northern, not Scottish. Really sorry, all Scottish viewers, especially Pam. Very sorry. So yeah, it just makes me think of that song when I think of Goose on the Loose. Anyway, it's part of Hands On Design's big awesome produce. So it's going to be humongous because this is stitched on 20 count naturals Reigart, and this is my progress. How sweet is that? I love it. So it's stitched with DMC Pearl Cotton number 5. I shall show you the threads. The threads are lovely, absolutely delicious. I'm sorry, they're in floss bags, but you can see the colours. Oh, they're so bright and lovely. So lovely. This is my favourite. The ones with the geese with the geese's scarf, with the scarf that belongs to the geese. Yeah, love it. So this is where I'm up to so far. So I think there's 5 geese at the top, so you can see, and then what else is there? Strawberries. Yeah, so this is all strawberries further down. Then there's ducks, and then there's more sunflowers, and then you make it into a carrot. So it was really funny because I saw somewhere that she thought it would be funny to put strawberries on a carrot, because last year she put carrots on a strawberry, which I have also purchased. I'll show you that at the end. So this is Goose Loose on the Loose. Goose on the Loose. I love it. I just really enjoyed stitching this. It's very nice. Zweigart Natural 20 count with DMC number 5 Pearl. I don't know if Lynn has even started hers, but that was Lynn that enabled me to do that. It was all Lynn's fault. So that is all my cross-stitching whips. Hope you enjoyed looking at all those. And now you'll know where I was up to in the future when I come back and talk about what progress I've made or not made. Hopefully made. And next up, what shall I show you? I shall show you my other whips. So I will start with my Eric. When I did my sewing room tour, he was still in bits on the desk. And this is where I've got up to with Eric. He's got his little tilde feet and tilde ears, and his little stitched nose with black felt, and his cute little eyes. He's armless at the moment. Armless, harmless, get it? Well, he's got one arm. So here's one arm. So he's one-armed Eric at the moment, and I have yet to do his other arm, and I've stitched his little tail together. That's going to be like so. And I went for blue buttons instead of white buttons because I thought that would suit him, being a polar bear. And so these are the buttons for the arms. So the smaller version of, oh dear, I've not got enough hands. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Come on, Eric. There we go. So there. Yes. Okay. So Eric is almost finished. One arm and his tail to sew on, and oh, that broken. Oh dear, I think I need a break. So let me show you where he's from. Might help, mightn't it? Eric is in this book, Lunar Lapping Stitch with Kindness. There he is. He has originally had a yellow jacket, but he's even on the back cover. He's the star of the show. However, I think they ran out quite quickly of the yellow felt. Sorry about the crinkling. So I have got a blue. So you can see why I was thinking about blue buttons as well. So that's going to be the fabric for his duffel coat, and then you can see there the trouser fabric. So once I've got him finished, next up is to make his outfit. Then he's not roaming around as nature intended. So that's Eric. He's loving stitching that. From Lunar Lapping by Sarah Peel. Eric by Sarah Peel. My other WIP was my Riley Blake Design Block Challenge 2026. So I finished my next one. This is block 11. Don't look closely at that one. Keep that one far away. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. It looks okay from here. It looks great. It looks not great from close up, but hey, it doesn't matter. This is the block. That was the suggested colours. I'm going for pink and teal versions of these blocks. This is a free pattern on the Riley Blake's Designs website, along with all the previous years where they've done a quilt along with free quilt patterns and free finishing instructions. So I'll put the link down below if you want to have a look at that. You can, if you fancy just having a go at one block. It's really fun to put the colours together. So I'll put a picture in of me putting the colours together, and when I started, I upgraded myself actually from the little paper numbering system I had, lettering system for the quilt parts. I upgraded to the Fat Quarter Shop alphabetties, the little plastic labelling system. So I thought you might like to see my other quilt blocks. I'll just show you the pink ones today, and I'll save the teal ones for when I've done the next block. So that's quilt 11. That's called Pinwheel Pop. Block 1 was called Four Corners. That was designed by Laurie Holt. They're each designed by a different person. That was the suggested colours. That is block 1. That was quite a tricky one because of all the small pieces, but it's not bad. And then next up, I did teal, and then block 3 was called Starry Bloom, designed by Cherry Blossom Studio, Cherry Goudry. And that was what that one was suggested to look like, and this was my version. Starry Bloom. All the fabrics I've used were all Tilda Plain fabrics and Laurie Holt, all different ranges, just all the pinks from all the different ranges that I've got. Really pretty. And that's a Macawa ditzy print. So that was block 3, and block 4 was a teal. Block 5 was called Ombre Dash, and that was the suggested colours for that one. And this was my version. Just really fun playing around. So that was my next block. And then block 7 was called Tulip Toss. This, I really love this one. This is one of my favourites. So I really wanted to make sure that you could see that they look like tulips. So this one was designed by Christopher Thompson. Ombre Dash was by Beverly McCulloch. Tulip Toss by Christopher Thompson, otherwise known as the Tattooed Quilter on Instagram. And this was what I did for Tulip Toss. Make sure I've got it the right way up. I've done this one directional. So I wanted to make sure that the tulips were featured quite nice, prominently. And then I fussy cut the other pieces so that they displayed in a particular way with the flowers going round like that. So that was Tulip Toss. So how many panels is that I've got? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pink, that's right, because I've done 9. So I've got 5 pink, I've got 4 teal. I'll do the next teal and I'll show you all the teals. And I'll pop a picture in of what the quilt should look like, completely finished. I don't think mine's going to be a complete finish like that. I think I'm going to do something different. I'll figure that out another time. So that's my little quilt update. Just a little interlude with Rafi to go and have a play with him in the garden. That's our chocolate Labrador. I don't think he wants to come in. Rafi, do you want to come in? Raf? You're not coming in? No. Thinks I'm telling him his dad's home. It's not. Not yet. Okay. So, I shall move on to haul. There's been some good sales recently, hasn't there? I've been very naughty. So I told you about the 20% off at the same time as the Festival of Quilts at So Hot. So then I got that panel there, the Laurie Holt panel to make some more project bags. I got that then. And what else did I get? Oh, I got these little charms. And I got this zipper pouch, Christmas zipper pouch. Sorry about the plastic. By Sew a Story. Yeah, I really like the look of that. I thought that would be very cute. So I got that sewing pattern. And I got another quilt pattern, the Cuckoo. I like the Elizabeth Hartman patterns. They're really, really, really just really good and colourful and bright. And we had a cuckoo clock when I was a child, wooden one. So a bit of nostalgia there. And then I also purchased this cross stitch pattern because I liked it. Sew by rote with lots of happy colours. So that was me making good use of the 20% off because I wasn't at the Festival of Quilts. And then where else did I go? Oh, and then I bought some stuff from 123 Stitch. What did I buy from there? I bought this cool spool display kit by Paisleys and Polka Dots. I thought that would make a nice finish for something in the future. You just paint it up yourself. It comes with a needle. I've not even gone in it. Anyway, I like the look of that, so that'll be on something in the future. And then, so I showed you my Mill Hill finish that was for my mum. I'll put a picture in here of me giving it her in Anglesey. She really liked it, so I was dead chuffed. And then my sister and my nephew came down. My middle sister, I've got 2 sisters. So my middle sister came down and had just a couple of days with us, which was great. And then she decided that she wants a Mill Hill kit stitching for her as well. I was like, all right, you know, that took me about 3 years to do that. She said, yeah, it's all right. So my middle sister is 4 years younger than me. So she said I can do it for her 50th, which gives me, I don't know how long it gives me. Anyway, this is the one she picked. So she wanted this. Ocean something. Ocean Song. There you go. Oh, you can see my camera, you can see my garden. There you go. Yeah, I went, you do know that's bigger than the one that I did for Mum, don't you? This one's 5x7. She was like, yeah, get on with it. I was like, okay, right. So she's chosen it herself, so I think fair enough. I don't think she watches my Flosstube anyway. I don't think she could care less. So that I will show you progress as I work on that, but slowly but surely, leading up to her 50th in 2029. She'll be 50. Yeah, there you go. That gives me a fair bit of time, doesn't it? Okay, doable. So that was that. And then, oh my God, Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery, 25% off. What was going on? So what did I get from Rachel? Yeah, couldn't resist. So I got a load of threads that I needed. And then I had my eye on these pins. Obviously 2 sheep, because I am really into my sheep. So one of those sets is destined to stick in the top of my sheep quilt, because why not? And that was just another one that I liked, so I'll make my mind up about those. And then I mentioned the Big Awesome Produce by Hands On Design. So this was the other pattern. So this was the one where she said she'd put carrots on a strawberry. No? What's the other one? Strawberries on a carrot. The other one's strawberries on a carrot. This is carrots on a strawberry. Something like that anyway. But this is the same done on the 20 count linen with the DMC number 5 pearl. So I had to get that as a companion for Goose on the Loose. And then I treated myself to some red fabric, Aztec Red, Weeks Dye Works. What count did I get? 36? No, 32. I went a bit small on that. Normally would go for 36, but I think I figured because it's red, it might be a bit harder to stitch on. So that was from Rachel. Thank you very much, Rachel, for that generous discount code. And then I used Cross Stitch Sarah's code for Craft Paradise. That was a 15% off code. And I got myself this beauty and this beauty, because what's not to love about those? I love those style of tiles and the fruit in the middle. So full kits. So I got those, and I also went for that one too. If you've seen my chatelaine, then you know. Sorry for not sharing it today. I'll share it when I've done something on it. You know, I'm into my Aurora Borealis. So that was from the Craft Paradise. And then I seemed to be in shopaholic mode. So then I wanted to purchase something from Pip and Chip. So I got myself this tin. Well, actually, I'll show you this first. I saw this sheet minder and it's double-sided. What clever idea is that? So that's so it's like 2-in-1 really. You can change the design. Double-sided needle minder. How clever is that? I was impressed with that. I'm easily impressed, obviously, sewing things. And I bought this tin from Pip and Chip, a nice deep one. So happy. This was £11.50, which is not too bad. It was an extra £5 for the inserts that Pip and Chip do, and you'll have seen them if you've ever had anything like that from them. So they do them for the Bisley drawers, that's what this was for. They do them for the DMC chest up there. They do them for all sorts of things. Anyway, so you could request the insert for the tin, but when my husband bought my original Pip and Chip floss bobbins, he bought the inserts as well without realising that that's not how I store my, I haven't got any Bisley drawers, and this is how I store my Pip and chips in these DMC boxes, so I didn't need the inserts. And so ever since then I've kept them, and I used them for project boxes where I'm going to use the Pip and chip bobbins, because this is the wider slits. So that's the cutout, and I made my own. Obviously it's free because my husband didn't pay for it. So I just cut it to size and popped it in the bottom of the box. And then what I also wanted was, where have I put them? There they are. The Pip and Chip vinyl labels for Weeks Dye Works. Now these work really well with the blank 3mm acrylic bobbins that you can get from Pip and Chip. So instead of paying, I think it's about 160 for the full set. No, it can't be that, it must be more than that. I'll put it on the screen. You can pay for the full set of the bobbins already printed up, ready for the Weeks Dye Works, or you can get the labels, which is just the labels, and you can buy some blank bobbins. You can get them in 24, 48 and 84, I think, something like that. So I had a load of these already and bought the labels separately, and then I can just label up the Weeks Dye Works that I've got, because I've not got a full set. So in here you can see that I've labelled some up already, and this is for Life by the Sea by Little Loops Stitching, Old Barn Stitching Company, for our pattern from the Big Stitch, which you will have seen because lots of people have stitched it already. So this is me kitting up the Weeks Dye Works that you need for that, and labelling up with the little labels that I got from Pip and Chip on my blank bobbins in my tin with the thing that I put in myself at the bottom. So I was very proud of myself. So that's another bargain. So, and then in the lid of the tin I have put my needle minder from Little Loops, that we got that at Big Stitch, and then this one was also in addition to my little haul from Craft Paradise. So I have my two puffin needle minders and my new tin. That's in my plans, ready for a new start. I'm starting that with Lynn the Lancashire Stitcher. I believe we're going to start this weekend, so that'll be good. And what fabric did I pick for that? So I have put that in this little bag. Don't worry, Steph and Paula. So Steph and Paula made us this one at the Big Stitch, which is brilliant. This has got lots of things in it, lots of other puffing things. And in here I have put, because I do need a zip, otherwise I'll lose my stuff, I've put this fabric for Life by the Sea. That's Life by the Sea. That's just my centre. That's my little thread marking for my centre when I overlock my edges. I tend to put my centre stitch in so I'm ready to go when I pick it up. This is the same blue as the wiggly that I showed you before, that I've used for Mouse's Laundry Day. What's the name of it? Darcy Blue. So this is a 36 count linen. If you're wondering why my centre's not in the centre, it's because it's too long. It's actually a square pattern. So I just left the length as it was. So that's what's going on there with those, with that little bit of Weeks Dye Works in a stitch along. Start along with Lynn. We'll both start it. And then my other puffing bag has got in the puffing kit from World of Cross Stitch, and also when we were in Anglesey we went down to South Stack Lighthouse and I bought that in the little shop, the RSPB shop that was there. So another bit of puffing paraphernalia. I'm amazing myself today, aren't I? Very good, Emma. So, haul, yeah, so that was my pip and chip. So that was all my haul, yeah, I stopped there, amazingly. So that's my first plan. Segueing into plans. My first plan is Life by the Sea. Next plan, you remember the tart tins that I painted up when I did my sewing room tour. So I have now finally picked a fabric that I want to stitch these Ethel's tart tins on. This was also from Create Nostalgia. I just loved these because they're a little bit unusual, and I haven't seen many people stitching stitches by Ethel either. And I've seen the new Nashville releases. Nashville? Yeah. I'm making this up. Yeah, Nashville. So the new Nashville releases, with some more on a similar sort of theme, so might get them in the future. Anyway, decided I wanted to do that on this sparkly. I didn't want to go with white. I don't like to do just the expected. I like to do the unexpected. So this is my sparkly, what was this? This one was from Nimble Thimble. 32 count natural opalescent. That one is a piece of that. And I've just, you can see there, I've overlocked my edges and I've done my three centre starts so that I know where I'm going with my 3 tart tins, which I shall do all in a row. And that's, no, don't be naughty. That's my floss colours for that. Not in a project bag, I need to put that in a project bag. This is, so if I put it in a project bag and I put it down, then I'll forget it exists. And then you find something else new and shiny, don't you? So that's in my plans to start. And then I want to start the bird feeder, which you saw on my shelf. Now I was umming and ahhing what I wanted to do colour-wise for this, because I don't want to do it red, of course. Why would I want to do it red when it's been designed in red? So this was another one from Talking Dog Stitchery. I decided to get these Cottage Garden, what's it called? Murray Pine, because I like that colour. And I'm going on a white. So that is my plan for the bird feeder. So that's 3 new starts in the imminent pipeline. Because why not? If you've got them, start them. No point in them sitting on a shelf, is there? I'm going to finish Eric and make a start on his outfit. I'm going to do the cushion for summertime. I'm going to do the next quilt block. I'll be busy, aren't I? We have had quite a nice eventful summer with the teenagers, the holidays. Like I say, we've been to Anglesey. Youngest one is, I say youngest, he's coming up, he's 15 and a half. He's learning to fly. I'll just show you quickly just a little picture of his last flying lesson that he had with these fancy manoeuvres that he was doing. He's writing the 888 in the sky. That was his turns. So he's really enjoying his flying lessons. Back to school into his final year of GCSEs in September. And the other one that made me the sewing machine, the Lego sewing machine up there. I forgot actually that I wanted to put in pictures of a bit of the process of when we were building it together and how he designed it on the software. So I'll just pop these up while I'm talking so you can see. Thanks for all the lovely comments about that. Yeah, I know, I'm very proud of him. And he got his GCSE results and did very well, so very proud of him for that. And he's going on to do his A-levels. So he's been demanding of my time with all the tech that he needs and the new clothes he needs, because he's got to be smart in sixth form and now not in school uniform anymore. Come back school uniform, all is forgiven. So I've been sorting that out. He starts next week, and then very quickly after that he's 17, so then it's the whole driving lesson thing to deal with. So let's get him back to school. get my husband back to work. Rafi don't want to show his face, but he's knocking about. I'm happy as Larry in my sewing room, and lots of things to do. Lots of people to watch on Flosstube. I've been watching loads of good Flosstube. Big hello to Nicky from Nicky Nack's Cross Stitch and Crafts, the lady that's in South Wales. She's very, very like me. I loved watching her. She was very funny, and she makes brilliant project bags. That's another thing that she's enabled me. I want to be making more project bags again, which is hence why I bought that panel. But you know, I've got like all that. I can make all that into project bags if I start messing about doing 20 different crafts. Anyway, at least I can just do what the mood takes me, can't we? We're all free to do whatever brings us joy, isn't it? So hello to Nicky, because I did really enjoy her, and hello to Pam from Ditsy Daisy Crafts, because I enjoyed all her whips as well. I've been watching Sarah, Cross Stitch Sarah, Flossie, Natalie Sewing Room Secrets, Pam and Steph, all the. I've been watching loads of Flosstubes. However, I still have the problem where my comments that I put on other people's channels don't show up. They show up to me, but they don't show up to them. I don't know why it is. It still infuriates me. So don't think that I'm not watching and not interacting. Andrew, the runner stitcher as well, he sent me a lovely message. And there's loads of people. Stitching Bee as well, been watching you. Mama loves you, GB, and I put comments down and they're not visible to anybody. And Sally, Flossie Sews and Grows, have confirmed that to me, and Lynn, because they're just not there. I don't know why. Please YouTube, please just start showing my comments up again. I'm not a bad lass really. So I'm pretty sure that you've all been able to see my replies if you've commented on this channel. Let me know if it looks like there's no reply or there's anything a bit strange, because I've been replying to everybody and I appreciate all your stitchy chat. And I think now I better go and get Rafi's tea out of the fridge and think about what I need to do next. I need to do some washing. Back to reality. Okay, it's been lovely chatting with you all. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, please ask. I'll be back again, maybe about 3 weeks, when I've done some stitching to show you. Thank you for joining me in my sewing room here in West Yorkshire. Hey up. Bye.